All right, Virgo, so this is part two. Go back to part one to catch up. Okay, so I'm gonna jump right on in to this story. All right, now, so basically where I had left off, right? Just letting you know, like it could have been some misunderstandings. Um, this didn't happen by accident. Let's just put it that way. This was actually divine disruption. It wasn't just no random drama. Okay, Spirit was actually stirring the pot because some things needed to be seen. Okay, but with the high priestess coming out in the upright position, Virgo, um, it feels like this was about activating your intuition, your discernment. You already knew something was off. You could feel the energy. You could feel that energy shifting before it actually happened. You feel me? And so you were being guided to literally trust what you felt over what was being said. Okay? Yeah. Yeah. Because it's like this person may tell you one thing. It feels like it's a hot or cold energy. Okay? Um, the situation got invoked literally because it was time for the truth. That's just what it is, right? It was time for the truth. It was time to balance the scales. This person, it was time for them to pay up their karmic debt, right? And the justice card, it showed up to clear the fog. Okay, so the moment you started listening to your intuition instead of doubting yourself, everything starts to make sense, or everything started to make sense. Excuse me, y'all. Um, why wasn't this person lacking integrity? The Eight of Wands in the reverse position. It feel like it could have been miscommunication, or they were trying to slow some stuff up. Okay. That's where that integrity slipped. Them trying to do that, that's where that integrity slipped. 2, 3, 4 on the timer. Wow. That's crazy, right? So what Spirit was saying was that this person was lacking integrity because, I mean, it say a lot, literally, but this person was not moving with clarity and intention. So everything about their energy was delayed, inconsistent, or avoidant. So I feel like this person may cover it up as if, oh, I'm only focused on this. That's my focus right now. But really, that is a tactic they use to be, or avoidant. Let's just put it that way, to be avoidant. Okay? One minute they're communicating, the next they may be ghosting, or they may not really be talking about it at all. All right, when y'all need to be having conversations about it, or you might need to keep up with each other, however, right, just to make sure y'all on the same page. And that's what it's been, right? It's that hot cold energy. Okay, one minute they're all in, then they disappear when accountability shows up, right? And so with the Eight of Wands reverse, is telling us that someone, that this person's actions didn't align with their words. And so that's what Spirit was like, nah, they got to be held accountable for that. Okay, they talk a good game, but when it's time to move, they freeze, they stall, they make excuses, right? And honestly, Virgo, that's where the lack of integrity comes in at. Okay, the integrity is consistency. It's doing what you said you was going to do, right, when no one is watching. Okay, it's doing what you said you was going to do, right, period. But this person, they were trying to control the pace of divine timing. You can't do that. So what you may have felt as distance or confusion, wasn't you imagining things. It was divine protection, right? The slowdown was God actually hitting pause, okay, before you invested deep into something built on a shaky ground. Like, that's what the whole thing is about. It's like Spirit wants you to have a strong, solid foundation, okay? You have to operate in this connection, or in whatever the connections are, and truth and integrity and clarity, accountability, all of that stuff, right? Because then if it's not, then guess what? It makes for shaky ground. Okay, so I got some more questions. And so what I just heard, it was like it was so important for you to see that. You had to see it. Even if you weren't even thinking about it. Spirit still wanted you to see what was going on. Let me tell you, your spirit guides, your team, man, they is not playing. They like, you ain't with my Virgo. Okay? Nobody. Even if it's a spouse or a friend, whatever, they not messing with you. Your spirit guides gonna tell. They telling it. Okay? So, what else is it that Virgo needs to know? The Three of Wands in the reverse position. So now that Virgo brought this to their attention, the Knight of Swords upright. So now that Virgo brought this to their attention, will anything change? The Five of Pentacles upright. Hold on, y'all. My DoorDash guy is messaging me. And so, this person never really had a plan, Virgo. Okay? They wanted the benefits of the connection, but they weren't really looking beyond the moment. Okay? So, they were just in the moment. It's like they're, they're more focused on themselves and what they want to do for themselves. You know, whether it's building themselves, getting stable, finances, whatever, right? But when it came down to actually worrying about the connection itself, they weren't thinking long term. Okay, that's why things kept feeling stuck or half built, right? So you were ready for expansion and they were still stuck in hesitation. Okay, and so now that you brought it to their attention, boom, that Knight of Swords energy, right? Now that you let them know, like, I see what you're doing. Okay, and now that you let them know that they rushing in, right? They may say their piece, they may try to prove their point, but this energy, it kind of feels impulsive, like they're reacting to being called out, but not really moving from accountability. It's like that, let me defend myself energy instead of let me reflect and grow. Okay? So, will they eventually change? We got the Five of Pentacles. And that's the truth, Virgo. The separation, the distance is real. And so Spirit's saying this might not be something you can fix for them. They have to face their own lack, their own consequences. This card isn't, punishment, Virgo. Okay? It's perspective. They're feeling the loss now, but they're realizing that your presence was never the problem. It was their avoidance to growth. Okay? So Spirit's message to you is don't chase what's already showing up for you. Okay? How does that? No, let me do it again. Don't chase what's already showing you it's not ready. Okay? You brought truth to the table. Now let karma cook, boo. Let it cook. Okay? You don't got to do it else. Karma going to do everything for you. All right? Now, what had happened was Virgo. Use discernment, okay? Because this next move, this person wasn't thinking long term. This person didn't have a plan. Even look, the Three of Wands in the reverse. This doesn't speak about expansion. I forgot that I pulled this card. This speaks about delays, okay? There's nowhere in here that there's any type of expansion there. Okay, this person is really like focused on the now, which isn't a bad thing, okay? But at the same time, what makes it kind of like, I don't want to say bad, is because you are envisioning and focusing on another thing. So y'all values aren't really aligned.